Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Billy and Andre Show, the only podcast where if you catch us committing crimes, no you didn't, please go into this pit of dogs. How are you, my friend?
Really good. Just getting the dogs nice and hungry.
Yes, good. There's a lake full of them, you know.
Is there a lake full
An
of
entire lake full of dogs. Yes, they're very hungry and they love to eat people who blow whistles.
Sounds like Romanian countryside. Because people don't know how to look after the animals.
Oh, is there like a stray dog problem in Romania?
Yeah, it's a massive stray dog problem in Romania.
Really?
Yeah. And cats, last time we went there.
Really? I thought
there were a lot of cats. I mean, like, a lot of cats.
Like Cyprus levels of cats?
No, not Cyprus level of cats. You can't get to that level, you know, without the British interfering.
Without the British interference and it being an island, you can't get that many cats.
Yeah. It's just things missing, yeah.
There's a coefficient equation where you can work out exactly how many cats are introduced to your country by the British.
Yeah, that's how you work that out. Come on, tell us what we're talking about. Let's get there.
Oh, you're such a hurry. Where have you got places to be?
No, I got nowhere to be, Billy.
Absolutely nowhere to be on this Easter Sunday.
No, well, my Easter Sunday.
Your Easter Sunday. Everyone else has not got Easter Sunday, but you do, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Do you get extra days off?
No.
That's bullshit.
Who's gonna get days off?
Well, you should get another bank holiday.
I worked for your Easter Sunday as well.
Oh, dude. I'm going to have to import more people from Romania so that they can work Easter Sundays because English people refuse.
Yeah, no, they just don't want to.
Yeah, that's the English for you. Speaking of jobs, though, have you ever had to, like, I'm sure this has happened to you, at some point in your life, doing some job, you've had to call out management, right?
Yeah, all the time.
All the time. It happens a lot. You work in hospitality.
Yeah.
It happens every day because managers are dumb shits. And then, you know...
Dude, I'm a manager.
I meant above you. You're an assistant manager. You don't count. You're on the floor. You know, you're not like in an office doing, you know...
I wish I was in an office. Sometimes, not all the time.
You wish you were the Excel spreadsheets guy, but sadly, no.
No. Not enough education, I'm afraid.
You should do your ops manager training one day, dude. You'd be excellent at it.
Oh, I get to the point, Billy. You offended me. Let's move on.
Well, have you ever gotten to the point with a boss where you've told them the problems that have been happening over and over again? They're refusing to listen for some reason.
Yeah.
And I assume at some point there was some sort of consequence for doing that, yeah?
For you snitching on them.
Well, for you constantly, you know, for you just saying, hey, look, there's problems, they're not getting fixed, there's problems, there's not getting fixed, fuck.
Did you start calling you very whiny and whatnot?
Oh, is that all they get?
Yeah. Well, they can't fire you for telling them they're making mistakes.
True, I suppose, but we're going to look at
British law actually protects their employees, funny enough.
What about Cyprus? Does Cyprus have like good...
There's no law there. It's the wild west.
Oh, they could just fire you for...
No, they can't really just fire you, but if you're a foreigner working there, you can't really do any... Dude, why are we getting that? Go to your consequences.
It's on point. It's on message. There's a reason for this.
Okay, because my point is... I felt like I'm interrogated today. I don't know.
Well, I just wanted your point of view, because that's a very standard sort of thing to happen for somebody. You go against your boss, they call you a whiny bitch, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now we're going to look at people who went against their boss and got completely fucking destroyed over it.
Okay.
We're talking about whistleblowers.
Yay!
I wanted
my whistle, baby, one more. No, that's a song, isn't it? It's not the same kind of whistleblowing.
That was like 15 years old. How do you remember that? That's a terrible song.
I danced a lot on that song, okay?
Tell me, did you work in nightclubs in the 2010s, the early 2010s? Specifically 2011 when that song was everywhere.
Yeah. How could you tell?
Because it was Flow Rider. He was popular for all of about 5 minutes, but God, that song. Now you've put that song in my head, it's actually impossible to think of anyone else, which is why it was a hit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have fun. Have fun with that
really
one.
Bad song. Anyway.
Have fun the rest of the day with that one.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's all right. The only way to get a catchy song out of your head is to replace it with a more catchy song. So right now I'm blasting the Spice Girls in here, and it's just erasing everything.
Spice Girls, which song? What are we talking about here? I just want to know. It's like, which level
I'm not
of
singing
spice?
the Spice Girls into a microphone.
Whoa,
I will not be baited into it. Spice up your life. Anyway, so we're talking about whistleblowers today.
Okay, whistleblowers.
I was specifically I had to rearrange my criteria for this a little bit. I just wanted it to be like the deadest whistleblowers ever, like the ones that died in the most obviously like stupid ways that were, kind of obvious foul play there.
Would you consider Epstein a whistleblower?
That's a bigger
adjacent
thing. That's not because he didn't whistleblow deliberately. He was like, in prison, and then he died before he could whistleblow or testify in front of which is different. He's not like he, just had a change of heart. Jeffrey Epstein decided, I'm tired of all this child trafficking. I'm just going to go on the straight and narrow and confess my... No, he didn't do that. What we're talking about is people who were inside institutions of some description. They went against those institutions, and the institution just hammered them, just ruined their fucking life, and was allowed to do so by whatever government or person was supposed to be in charge of the thing. So the most obvious one, and the most one that sort of inspired this, and the one that people are going to be thinking of right now, is the story of John Barnett and Boeing.
Yeah, because I was about to say, but I'm like, wait, am I gonna ruin his whole spiel there? Are we talking? Because I was thinking to go like, Billy, can we talk about Boeing? Billy, can we talk about Boeing? Billy, but I thought just wait for you.
No, all things come back to Boeing eventually, except for doors, which go very far away from Boeing's at high speed while they're taking off.
How are they managing to be so shit at their job?
Well, fun. Little potted history of the story of Boeing here, because Boeing was, for the longest time, the most high-end aerospace engineering company, military or civilian, in the entire world. They were the best. They were better than everybody else. Their planes were very, very good, very, very safe, very reliable. And they were like that because they were led by engineers. The people in charge of Boeing as a company, and its broad direction, they were aerospace guys. They were engineers. They were like, some of them were, initially World War II veterans. They were part of in military industrial stuff, had a lot of money behind them, built a lot of very good planes. And because it was engineer led, it meant that safety and things came first. Now, in the 90s, Boeing was actually merged with another company called McDonnell Douglas, which...
that's your problem right there. It was called McDonald.
Basically the McDonald's of the US airspace industry, in the fact that everything they made was shit, but the government kept buying it anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty much summing up McDonald's in itself.
Yeah, McDonnell Douglas was not much better. My dad used to work there for quite some time in the 80s, and they paid him a shitload of money because, outside contractors, if you were doing military stuff, that's just a lot of money in general.
Yeah.
My dad worked the night crews, and they would basically get all the stuff that they had to do done in about 2 hours and fuck off to the pub and just leave it there.
I mean, if the work was done, I never understand why people take jobs just to be hourly paid.
Yeah.
If I would be a contractor, I would be like, all right, cool, it cost you $3,000 and I want to try to be done within 2 hours and I'll still take my $3,000 home. They're like, oh, but you finished in 2 hours. Yeah. You paid for the job, you didn't pay me hourly. So it's like... that kind of thing. Yeah. Because otherwise it would have been $1.50 an hour.
Yeah, which is something you sound silly charging that, but if a job only takes 2 hours and it's your job, then just chuck me the money up front and I'll just fucking do it, thank you.
Yeah, and then I'll be done quicker because, I want more money.
Yeah, apparently American engineering culture is lazy for the most part. Dad had very little good to say about Americans that he worked with while he was over there. He did say that quite a lot of the time they spent most of their time just hanging around nicking shit.
I mean, isn't that every industry?
Yeah, apparently the White House, the Pentagon, came to look at some planes they were building, and this guy had a brand new, this military, I think he was a captain or whatever. He was there to take photos of the project.
Yeah,
he had this very, very nice brand new Leica camera with a tripod and everything, and they left it in the hangar during their lunch break, and Dad was like, right, okay, at this time of the lunch break, no one's going to be around. I'm going to fucking have that camera. And by the time he got there, someone had already stolen it.
Wow. Also,
probably a bunch of military secrets on that camera. Who fucking knows?
Well, the person that stole it knows. Maybe he got caught. Maybe he's rotting in jail now.
Possibly. he might have got done for, spilling state secrets or something. But, McDonnell Douglas was a huge fucking, plane crash, ironically, of a company. They sucked. They were run by business types and money men, and when they merged with Boeing, they ended up taking over basically Boeing as well.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, corners started getting cut.
Yeah, because that's always a good thing, especially when there's people involved.
Especially when it's a tube of metal that's being fired through the air at speeds higher than the speed of sound, and when you're having huge engineering projects like that, you kind of want it to be safe, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, especially when you have like 100 people in there as well.
Yeah, I don't ever look at a plane and go, look, the corners were cut, great,
I quite literally, the corners of the airplane were cut.
It turns out it actually kind of got worse than that. In comes our whistleblower, by the way. His name was John Barnett. He sort of observed, he was a quality control guy. They hired him to be a quality control manager, which, is supposed to be going around making sure everyone's work is done properly.
Yeah.
Pretty simple concept.
Yeah.
He was trying to do his job well. Like, he was saying, hey, look, guys, there's a bunch of problems here. These parts don't conform to other parts. The oxygen systems, they don't work properly. They have, like, a really high failure rate. There's not enough backups and fail-safes in order for the, because if one sensor goes down, then...
But you need something to tell you that the sensor is down.
Yeah.
So you need a sensor for a sensor. Well, that's...
And you need a third sensor in case that sensor goes as well.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you usually do stuff in aerospace.
It's basically, the whole plane is just welded sensors together, because...
that's in the entire fuselage is now just sensors, yeah. But you want backups on your backups for everything. It's the same thing with, like, rockets and space shuttles and shit. You want that stuff in planes as well.
Not if Elon Musk makes it.
Not if Elon Musk makes it. That's how he manages to do it so cheap. And it's why they keep exploding. But, so for he basically worked for Boeing for about 5 years, between 2013 and 2017. In 2019, basically he sort of blew the whistle, and a bunch of court cases and stuff that were already in process began.
Yeah.
In 2021, Boeing actually won that whistleblowing case. So he brought it against them. He had already retired by that point due to the stress of doing his job, because every single time he was like, hey guys, this is unsafe. They were like, no, go back to your job. This is my job. Telling you it's unsafe. Yeah, well, no, go away. So the stress of that led to him retiring. And then in 2021, the OSHA case, which is their health and safety board or whatever, declared that Boeing had done absolutely no wrong. So the appeals case begins, because this is how all fucking lawsuits work, apparently. They just go on forever. A few years later, when he was finally giving evidence to the court, John Barnett was found, he didn't appear for his third deposition. He had 2 depositions before that where he said some very, very bad things about Boeing. I kept finding there was a test flight where a Boeing took off, and they didn't realize that there was a ladder still attached to the underside of the wing. It was so, he would find, spare nuts and bolts just, rattling around inside planes. No,
but you need those spare nuts and bolts. How else are you going to keep your sensor attached?
How are you going to fix it when it's in flight?
Yeah.
Think about it. You need those just lying around, rattling inside the tailpipe.
The air stewardess that needs to fix... Is it? Are they still called air stewardesses?
No, I think they're called flight attendants or something now.
The flight attendant might want to fix it with her engineering degree.
Yeah. Or the man, the very foppish man who brings you the nice cocktails, so he could just pick up a spanner and just start,
What planes were you on?
Ones with very, very attractive gay men.
Okay. Because
if you had to ring it out at me.
I'm just saying, last time I went for a flight was Wizz Air. There was nothing attractive about that flight. I'm not going to lie to you, there was nothing pleasant.
That's fair. The problem with flights having to be so cheap now is that the service goes down immensely.
They just try to shove more shit out down your throat.
Yeah.
Because we flew to Romania and back, 160 pounds. And it was 60 pounds just to choose to sit next to Carolyn.
Jesus Christ. It's want some time off from your wife? Don't pay 60 pounds and you can get...
Yeah, pretty much. Funny enough, on the way back, the plane was almost empty, so we kind of sat next to each other. So
oh, right, that's fair enough.
We were one of those people that as soon as it took off, the sign came out and we were like, hey, come
hey
here.
Guys, party time.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a shit in the plane because I feel like it. That's the only thing to do here.
Horrible fact. The air is more polluted in the planes now that there's no smoking allowed than when it was smoking allowed. Because in the past, when there was smoking allowed, they will 100% bring air from outside to change the air inside of the cabin. And now it's just 60% fresh air.
Oh, that's bullshit. That explains why I always get a headache on long flights, because the oxygen's slowly decreasing.
No, the oxygen's still there. They probably monitor the oxygen, but it's probably from the farts. Because there's 160 people farting. And if you're unlucky, maybe there's a dog farting in there as well.
And the seats don't have adequate foam in them anymore, so they can't even soak up the farts.
No,
you
they're
know?
all this cheap leather that just vibrate the farts back.
Oh, God.
There you go. Moving on.
Moving on to some more significant problems. He accused Boeing of basically flying unsafe aircraft knowingly and putting people's lives at risk. Pretty straightforward, sort of open and shut case, you would think. On March the 9th, 2024, John was found dead in his car of a gunshot wound to the head, which police say was suicide. He was in the middle of his third deposition, literally, and about a month before that, you may remember this, a 737 MAX took off heading to Alaska, and the door flew off and hit someone's house in Oregon. So
that's funny.
So while these hearings are going on, Boeings are fucking dropping out of the sky, and people are starting to take the piss. You know, the online world is paying attention to this. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the top whistleblower who's been leading this campaign for 10 fucking years decides to kill himself.
Oh yeah, he was done with it. He was just done with it.
That's what he said in his suicide note. He said, "I am done with this. I cannot go on any longer. I hope Boeing pays." That sounds weird to me.
No, it does. It does.
That does not sound like it was written by a guy who genuinely wanted Boeing to suffer for this. That sounds like something that someone just wrote hastily after they'd shot him, if I'm honest.
You could have taken the time, right? If you had planned it already, at least make a nice note, put a little kiss note at the end of it.
Yeah, do some artwork.
Yeah.
Put glitter, sparklies.
Yeah, might as well put the effort in if you're gonna just kill someone.
Eventually, you could turn it into a book proposal and have a reason to live.
Okay.
Sorry,
Wow.
that's an old George Carlin bit. But the suicide note was pretty fucking suspicious. The ballistics and the fingerprints match like him shooting himself in the head, and it was his gun that he used.
Yeah.
But his family and friends both say, no, that's bullshit. He was looking forward to this investigation finally being over, and he actually said to his friends several times, if anything happens to me, it definitely wasn't suicide.
Oh, didn't somebody else do the same thing?
Well, we're not going to get into that one.
Okay.
That's the
sorry.
big one. We'll talk about that more some other day.
Okay, cool. Sorry.
Funny enough, not about a month after Mr. Barnett was found, shall we say, we're not going to say how he died exactly because we don't know. Another fella called Josh Dean, who was also involved in the same case, caught MRSA and died within about a few days of catching it.
How do you just catch MRSA?
Don't know. Don't know how he caught MRSA. It's kind of a difficult thing to get unless you're in an infected hospital, you know?
Yeah.
Unless
Was he in an infected hospital?
Not as far as I'm aware.
Oh.
He just had a sudden illness and rapidly declined. Yeah.
I see why people have a field day with this, because maybe it's just a coincidence, but also at the same time, you can't have such a big coincidence.
That there's too much sort of like at stake here, because this is $1 billion industry. It's like the heart of the American like Air Force complex.
But also at the same time, funny enough, when these big companies lose money on these court cases, they don't lose that much.
They don't lose that much, no. I mean,
so
they've earned that net worth back.
If you look in like from the devil's advocate sort of point of view, what would have been the point of killing him? Because they're like, we're not gonna lose that much anyway. And who's gonna buy any other planes from any other company because nobody else is making this?
Yeah, like Airbus. That's it, I guess. Like, you know, I mean, Airbus is kicking ass right now.
So if you're kind of looking at it from both perspectives, maybe it was.
Maybe it would be very, very, very funny. Imagine being like the Boeing PR guy, and it's like you get a call, like, and it's like, a second Boeing whistleblower has died in a mysterious
like, dude, we didn't do it. We didn't do it. What was
like, fuck? What do I do now? How am I going to spin this? And the answer is you kind of can't. The internet went mental. Everyone was doing conspiracy theories because, of course, they were.
Yeah.
And it's not as if the police are good at investigating this kind of shit. You know,
they're pointless.
They're massively incompetent,
I don't know why
especially
I
in the
play
States.
council tax. Oh yeah, because I need to keep my credit score up.
Yeah, that's basically the only reason too.
In any case, yeah.
But yeah, we may never know what happened
so
with
did
Boeing
they
and
not
Josh
figure
Barnett.
out anything?
They didn't figure out shit. No, we still don't know why. You know, if he shot himself, why he might have shot himself. The suicide note was vague and unclear. Like, it was just. It's the most obviously sus situation in the world, and yet there's been no consequences or investigations about it. You know?
Oh, so how did the case finish? Or the case didn't.
The case is still ongoing, I think. Like the whistleblowing case, anyway. Because it wasn't just this guy. There was a whole bunch of other people with lower down the chain. Yeah. He was just the main
Hopefully
guy.
Somebody's gonna come forward and say, actually, I can help with this.
I shot him. Ha ha. Yeah, he's a
You made him into a fucking 90s villain.
Yeah, like a gangster fashion, say. No, the interesting thing about this was like during this whole like because there was captured his footage on CCTV of him driving this car into a blind spot where the CCTV wasn't before he.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing. I didn't want people to watch me do it. I'm gonna get performance anxiety.
See, I always thought if I was gonna do something like that, I'd want it to be a performance. I would want to go out like spinning midair whilst on fire, splatting
whilst playing your bass.
Yes, exactly. Standing on like top of a pile of seduced women or something. I'd like to explode at that moment.
Way too highly of yourself, but I love you quite genuinely, but you think a little bit too highly of yourself sometimes. Calm down,
dude. Performative arrogance is just funny. It's just fun to do. So. One guy who didn't have any performative arrogance, though, is our next whistleblower, who also an American, but from a completely different place in time. I want you to cast yourself back, Andre, to
I'm closing my eyes. I'm ready. I'm imagining.
The American Civil War.
Oh, dude, no.
Yeah. So no. You'll actually quite like this guy.
Wait, on which side am I?
This guy fought for the North. So
okay, fine, that's okay. Because if you already put me in the South, Billy, I'm just saying.
No. You'll like this guy a lot if I tell you a few things about him. So this guy's name, firstly, banging name, Silas Soule.
Ooh. His parents were like. What's gonna be? I think they were hippies for
the 1830s. Yeah,
even for that thing, are like, this is gonna be a cool name.
Silas Soule, yeah. Silas Soule was born in Kansas in 1838. He was part of the Kansas abolitionist movement. So basically, half of Kansas was pro-slavery and the other half wasn't. So he was on the anti-slavery side. His family were lifelong abolitionists as well. He helped escaped slaves run from the South. Yeah. He worked on the Underground Railroad. He did a number of really high profile jailbreaks. He kept what he would do, right, was he would pretend to be a drunk Irishman. And if you're a drunk Irishman in the States at that time, you'd get arrested pretty easily. So he just pretend to be drunk.
Well, was it because you were drunk or was it because you were an Irishman? I'm just saying.
Both. That's why.
It's hilarious how the Americans hated so much on the Irish, right? Because Americans, which they call themselves Americans, they were basically
they're all mutts. They're all mutts
of some sort, right? So it's like, how are you hating on these immigrants that are here actually to help you out?
And now you get white girls from California going like, oh my god, this is no way to treat an Irish person, and it's like, fuck off.
I'm like, if you speak with that accent, it is.
Yeah, it's like, sorry, every normal Irish person is looking at them like, I wish I could just kill you with my mind.
Yeah. There's this hilarious guy on YouTube somewhere, lost in the ether of YouTube. I haven't seen him for a minute, but he does just content about him criticizing people's dinners, and he's Irish, and he's like, and he always goes like, oh, that's my fine potatoes looking there. He's absolutely hilarious. I can't remember his name, but he pops up now and again, and I'm like, oh, dude.
Oh, I think I know. Is that the red-headed guy who looks like he kind of looks like he's on speed half the time?
No.
He's got garlish, no Asian Island.
Not that guy.
That guy. Oh, okay. That guy's great as well, though. You should look him up.
Irish
Great
people.
character.
Fucking love Irish people. Irish people, you're the greatest.
No, he's not gay. He's just a character. But yeah, this Silas Soule guy, he ended up fighting in the US Civil War. He was fighting on the side of the North, obviously, but he was kind of fighting in the places that wasn't the heaviest. He was in the territories, which is the western bit. So he was in Colorado and Arizona. He wasn't in he wasn't with Byrne and Sherman going down south and setting shit on fire.
Fair enough.
But yeah, he was did a bunch of high-profile jailbreaks, got a bunch of John Brown's men out of, or tried to get a bunch of John Brown's anti-abolitionist movement out of prison, because letting slaves go, that's a crime. That's property crime.
Yeah, because they're probably that.
Because they're property.
Yay!
But these
so
guys,
proud of it, did that.
But yeah, he broke into the place disguised as a drunk Irishman. He broke into the prison, managed to steal the keys off the guard, escaped, and he was going to let these two other guys escape as well, but they decided they would rather be publicly hanged as martyrs to the cause of abolishing slavery. So he just sort of had to go by himself. He just had to break out of the prison himself.
What? Why would you be a martyr? Because that doesn't help anybody.
Oh, dude, people forget this, but the abolitionist movement was full of genuinely committed people. Like, it wasn't just like, people pretending to be activists
Yeah, but
or whatever.
you're of more use alive than dead, in my opinion.
I mean, you would think so, but John Brown and his men were religious zealots as well as like anti-slavery people.
Okay.
I mean, John Brown was fucking insane. He was
I'm
great, but he
pretty
was
sure.
insane.
I'm pretty sure you'll shoot a gun better when you're alive than when you're dead.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the actions of John Brown and his men are probably kind of why the Civil War happened in the first place. Because that was like the big first escalation in like anti-slavery versus slavery tensions in the country. John Brown was a very important historical figure for that reason. But he was also mental, and he thought that, God was telling him to attack the slavers. So,
I mean, somebody had to.
it sounds like something God would say,
Yeah.
if it was a good God. So, during the Civil War, he was in the, Silas Soule, our fella here, was in Colorado. And he was present for something which was originally called the Battle of Sand Creek. We now know it as the Sand Creek Massacre. The Sand Creek Massacre was a massacre of a village of a specific chieftain who had come to Colorado to make peace with the governor there. Basically to do a land treaty where they would be left alone.
Oh, are these the Native Americans?
Native Americans, yes.
Okay.
I can't remember the exact name of the chief. I think it might be Blackfoot or something like that. But he was... there was about sort of like 100 or so women and children with him. The warriors of the tribe were off elsewhere because, like, in order to do this peace treaty, they said, we're not going to bring our warriors as a sign of, show of faith.
Yeah.
The Americans, under the name of a guy by the name of Colonel John Clivington.
He's such a Clivington.
He already sounds like an evil fuck, and he was. He basically said, fuck that, I hate Indians, we're just going to march in and kill them. Silas Soule was a captain, which is not a very high-ranking position in the US Army, but he was an officer, and he said to Clivington, fuck you, I'm not sending my men into that, I refuse to take part. He basically, defied the orders of a superior officer and said no.
Yeah, and Americans are very anal about their...
They do like their military hierarchy, yeah. So, but, Clivington threatened to shoot him, basically. He said, he's like, okay, well, we'll treat you as enemy combatants. And he said, no, you won't. Because I'm not going to be there. My name's Silas Soule, and I'm fucking out of this bitch.
Oh, so he just turned around and left.
Yep, just took his men and fucked off.
Good for him.
Yep, basically. He tried to get John Clivington sacked by going over his head, but no one would listen to him because he was just, a captain, and he was about, 23 at this point. So people didn't listen to him. Who did listen to him was his men. His men were like, nope, fuck this, we're with the captain, we're out of here. So... on the morning of in 1864 I can't remember the date. I haven't got the date written down. Why did I not do that?
Good job, Billy.
Yeah, I'm really good and professional at this. So in the morning when no one was anticipating it, before the break of dawn, all of a sudden about 600 US cavalry marines showed up and massacred about 150 odd women and children. They said afterwards that they killed 700 native warriors. There were no native warriors there. It was all just women, kids, and the elderly, and the chieftain himself.
Okay, so what happened to our man Silas?
Our man Silas went. Eventually, he was. They tried to bring him up on charges of, insubordination and stuff, but instead it turned into a sort of slowly building military legal case against Clivington. Because a lot of, he was bragging about how well he'd done, how many warriors he'd killed, blah 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 blah. And people were pissed off at him for lying rather than for massacring all those people. But, the other officers were like, this guy's just trying to get, curry glory for himself. You know?
Yeah.
And, it's bullshit. And we're not going to, eventually all the other officers started turning on him as well. And our man, Silas Soule, when it was time, he came out and he testified and it led to an investigation of the whole thing. And this is one of the first times the American government did this, you know?
Well, the first,
For Indians, for Native Americans, they didn't investigate the deaths of Native Americans. They didn't give a shit. But this one was so bad that they kind of had to.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to also fight the Civil War at the same time and say, well, slavery is wrong. But massacring Native Americans, okay, yeah, we probably should condemn that as well. It didn't really result in any sort of, issues for Clivington. He carried on his career for the most part. But he was, removed of any significant command from there on. He was kept out of the sort of top jobs, and he was never promoted again.
Yeah, that's sad, though.
It's sad that that's all that happened, But it was, the first time in US history that they had done something shit to the Native Americans and actually admitted to it. because they actually changed it from the Sand Creek Battle to the Sand Creek Massacre following that.
So I'm just waiting for the mic drop. Well, not the mic drop, the pin to drop where...
2 months later, Silas Soule was murdered in the street. Yep.
Was it proven that he was an act of revenge, or?
Well, it's kind of hard to tell because the guy who killed him was a guy by the name of Claude Spicer, something like that. He then fled. He fled the scene afterwards, and because where he was shot was Colorado, it wasn't really a state yet, so they didn't really have police or whatever to track him down. So he fled to New York, where he had like rich family who sort of kept the police away from him. But eventually, the law kept catching up to him, and he went to South America. Where he got his legs run over by a train in 1869.
Oh, at least there's some good coming out of it.
There is some good coming. Like Silas Soule, he was basically like sort of the sheriff of like a town, and the guy, fired a gun to get his attention, and when he ran out of the building, he shot him in the face. Very, very quick, very, very nasty death.
Obviously, there was there was nobody there to investigate, so
there was. Yeah, I mean, you shot the only sheriff, so
I shot the sheriff. But I didn't shoot deputy.
Well, there wasn't a deputy for him to shoot. So.
Okay, sorry. I'm very distracted today. I'm so...
No, it's good. It's good. Tangent away, dude.
Okay.
But yeah, the thing is with Silas Soule is that you look at him and you see like a giant sort of corn-fed American man. Like he's a giant lantern-jawed, very handsome, very tall, powerful-looking gentleman, but also very wise, very funny, and apparently very, very moral. Everyone liked him, like all of his men loved him, which was rare for the army back then, because usually the officer was just the guy who was beating you with a stick and refusing to give you food. So, despite the fact that he, was kind of a sort of national hero and very well respected, his funeral had over 100 people from the military show up.
Oh, that's good. Like, I mean, well, I keep on saying that's good. It's not good.
It's not. A good man who fought against slavery was shot.
Yeah.
But it was never proven that anyone related to the army had him killed. But there was this guy, he was from New York. He had no motive except from the fact that he was down on his luck and needed money. So, there's no reason to start a gunfight with the sheriff unless you've got some serious, like, motivation to do so. And
again, it still sits in conspiracy theories, all of these ones here.
Yeah, I mean, if there was, like, 1860s Twitter, I'm sure it would have been fucking on fire with, like, insane, justice for Silas. Well, Silas has soul, like, cringy hashtag du jour, But no, it's a damn shame because, like, every once in a while you find, like, really good people at really bad times in history, and inevitably, it's like the Gandhi thing. They always end up just murdered horribly in some way.
Yeah.
Speaking of someone who wasn't murdered horribly, though.
Oh, is it gonna be positive? Because you just depressed me so far. I'm
sorry,
just saying. I'm here almost crying and shit.
How familiar are you with the Philippines?
Not very.
I'm not very either. All I know really is
so this is gonna be really fun to talk about.
Well, the thing about the Philippines is it's kind of like a mix between like Indonesian sort of traditional cultures and America, because America nicked it from the Spanish at one point.
Yeah.
So the Philippines is a really, really weird sort of internal system. And have you ever heard of a man called Rodrigo Duterte?
No.
He's the former president of the Philippines between 2016 and 2022, I think was his...
is this the same guy that was with the other dude that had a massive church?
Possibly. I don't know what his religious stuff was like. I know he was kind of insane in general.
Because there's this guy that he thinks is Jesus. He tried to sue Ray William Johnson because he called him out of being being a liar. And the guy is so rich because he's one of those American. He's Filipino evangelists on television.
Right.
It's a different story. You're not telling that story.
No, it's a different... It must be... I think it's a different guy, but that is... Like, he sued Ray William Johnson. That's fucking hilarious.
Listen, next time, I'll tell you the whole story.
Oh, please.
I'll put it down
ridiculous YouTube lawsuit to be a great podcast. Check back in the future for that one, guys. Like and subscribe. So, yeah...
Horrible transition, that was.
Yeah, terrible. Yeah, I don't know why I do those. Yeah, Rodrigo Duterte, also known as the Trump of the East...
Trump of the East.
Yeah, he got into
Was
power.
it because of the hair?
Kind of. He kind of has a similar haircut, but he has much better hair because he's quite a lot younger. If you look him up, he just looks like a Trump because you're just like, wow, that dude is evil.
You continue.
But yes, he was elected on a sort of populist wave and saying he would stamp out corruption and shit. What he actually did was shoot people. A lot of people. Lots and lots of people.
Were they criminals?
Petty criminals, and drug dealers and innocent children sometimes.
Okay, the children part I didn't agree, but the rest of them.
If you look up the Filipino War on Drugs, which covers the exact time he was president, basically all of it, there's a long list of just extrajudicial killings with no trial, no police effort, like nothing, just people just murdered in the street by the government. That was kind of his
with
deal.
that I don't agree, right? I don't agree with the fact that you just kill people for no reason.
Yeah.
As in, give them a fair trial.
Yeah, there was no trials
and, I mean,
involved
give
here.
them, quite genuinely, give them a trial and then just kill them.
Yeah, if you can have the death penalty, I disagree with it, but you can have the death penalty. You can just do that. No, they decided, fuck that. Courts are expensive. Let's just shoot people. So, before he was president of the Philippines, he was also the mayor of a city called Davao, which is where he got his connections to a thing called the Davao Death Squad. And
okay,
the Davao Death Squad between the 80s and like the early 2000s killed about 1,000 people without trial. They were sort of like an unofficial part of the police state, but they weren't. The police refused to investigate them. But
ICE. You mean ICE?
Yeah, it all kind of rings a bit sort of familiar now, doesn't it? Now you see what it looks like in America. It's like, oh right, they're just doing the same. They're just doing the same thing as these poor countries.
Yeah.
Because when a dictator or tyrant sort of individual runs out of ideas, their usual response is just to send some guys with guns and see if that solves the problem.
Yeah, and it doesn't.
It really doesn't. Drug deaths didn't go up. They didn't go down after shooting all the drug dealers, all the petty criminals.
There's always another drug dealer on the next corner.
Yeah, there's always another drug dealer, and there's probably always someone who inherits that dealer's stash. So they carry on the drug dealing after they're gone with the same drugs, I'd imagine.
So that doesn't fix any problem.
Yeah, because these guys aren't like, they're not like professional drug enforcement guys. They're thugs who show up with AK-47s and kill people. They don't do police work. They don't do investigations into where these things are coming from or trying to shut down terrorist rings or whatever. They're just shooting people in the street for dealing drugs. That's it.
Yeah, so that will never fix the problem.
Not really, no. But these guys were sort of like an unofficial part of the police for years and years and years. And eventually, one of them came forward, a guy by the name of Edgar Mataboto. Yeah. Fuck you. You want to try it? You want to try reading his name out loud?
No, I don't want to try to read it.
The next one's going to be worse. So, you haven't seen anything yet. He was the man who basically stood up in court, did a testified against everyone, including the current sitting president, Duterte, at the time. He said basically, I watched this guy wax FBI agents with an Uzi. He said he emptied an entire Uzi into one informant, then changed the clip and emptied another clip into him.
That's a bit overkill and a waste of bullets.
A bit overkill. That could describe Mr. Duterte and basically everything he does. When he talks to women, he's just like, "Hey, you want some of this?" Everything about.
Was
this
that an actual thing, or you just?
No. There's video of him doing that,
okay, cool.
at political events, like when he was running for president. He was just like, fine women, hello. Just starts flirting with girls and trying to shag them in front of their husband, all sorts of shit. Guy's fucking mental, Yeah, he was kind of the reason why these guys got away with a lot of their shit, because he was mayor, he was kind of in charge of the city. So all of a sudden, everyone just sort of, ignored them, gave them a blind eye. There was no official punishment for these guys, even though they kept getting caught killing people. This guy, Edgar, he said that his role was to dispose of the bodies afterwards. So he would slice them up very finely into
I just rolled my eyes.
Yeah, okay, I'm not going to go into the details of how he did this. But yeah, they ended up burying them in these specific quarries called Loud's Quarries, which was named after the banker who owned the land and allowed them to bury them there. So lots of people are in on this whole sort of crime ring they've got going on here.
Probably there was a lot of money to be made out of that.
Yes. But they made a mistake by threatening basically to kill this guy for some reason. I think he crossed them in some other sort of way, and so he decided, fuck it, I'm turning myself in and I'm confessing to my crimes and also pointing out that the entire government is full of murderers. So yeah, he got there. He testified how much people paid. It was about $1,000 per head they got for killing these people.
So this was just killing people for money.
Just killing people for money. Yeah, it's just like bounty hunting, but worse. Just lots of people got killed for various reasons. Usually it was like personal grudges, internal like sort of conflicts. It was like people using the government's thugs to get revenge on their neighbors.
Oh, great.
Happens a lot in these like fascistic sort of societies, you know. Damn shame. You know, your neighbors will turn on you if they're dicks. So make sure you have good neighbors, people.
So how much did you say was per person?
Between $100 and $1,000 US.
I have a couple hundred.
I mean, that's the thing. $100 is not a whole lot. I mean, the Philippines is quite a bit, but if you're a middle-class Philippine person, you could probably afford that.
I have some neighbors I don't like.
You're gonna start the death squad here.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I would like
I took a bit of a pause, but
you took a pause because you were genuinely thinking about it for a second, and I'm just gonna leave that there. But yeah, the funny thing was, you know, it's very, very difficult to argue against Edgar's testimony because he literally knew where all the bodies were buried.
Quite literally.
Yeah. So, but the problem was when he started speaking out, the guy hadn't won his election yet. By the time he was actually in court, the guy had won his election, and his lawyer advised him to go into hiding because the president is now involved in this case. So he had to flee and get support from the International Criminal Court, who gave him like witness protection. He spent like about 5 or 6 years like bouncing around inside the Philippines, like hiding in churches, like living out of the reach of the government. Yeah. Until Duterte was out of office. And he managed to survive. He's still around. But apparently the constant threats, the harassment, the fact he was captured and tortured by the police at least twice, all this stuff sort of...
I think he should leave the Philippines.
He did. He's finally in the US now.
Oh, fair.
So he finally managed to run off and escape all that. But yeah, it's bizarre that this guy, after all this time, only now, very recently, I mean this year, has he been arrested by the International Criminal Court. 10 years after he became president.
Yeah, because they don't move that quickly. Have you not seen in the case of Donald J. Trump?
They're not moving at all in that case.
This is what I'm saying. Until he comes out of power, and probably is gonna die of diabetes or whatever.
Yeah, stroke,
sexual
heart attack, something.
Disease he fucking has on his fucking weird penis-looking face. Until that point, he's probably not gonna go to jail at all.
So until the face syphilis kills him, we will not see Donald Trump.
You know what? The only thing that really fucking annoys me. He stole so much money, and his kids are gonna take the benefit of that.
Yeah, that
really fucking annoys me.
Yeah, the Trump family is going to be a big player in American politics for the rest of our lives, dude.
Which is so fucking annoying, especially because they're all fucking retarded.
They're all
every single
very,
one
very stupid.
Allegedly. I don't know. Just adding it in there.
Ivanka seems to be the only one who's not completely dumb-shitted, but then again, I don't hear her speak that much, you know?
Well, didn't she almost blew the whistle on fucking Epstein? As in, because he called him... Anyway.
Yeah. We're not getting into the Epstein one.
No.
That's too big a fish to fry in one podcast, my dude.
Yeah.
But you know what's a much smaller and more easy to sort of discuss topic on the internet?
Donald Trump's penis?
Israel!
Oh, fuck's sake. I can't believe you put this one in.
Well, I kind of had to because it's kind of a fucked up story, right?
Okay.
This is going back a ways, but people forget a lot of the stuff that we know about the Israeli government was from whistleblowers inside Israel itself.
Yeah.
For example, you know that Israel has nuclear weapons, right?
Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
But
Americans kind of supported them with that one.
Actually, it was kind of the French as well. The French are very, very weird about who they decide to let have nukes. Their nuclear security has never been brilliant. The French also stole a bunch of fighter planes designs from them for some reason. The Israelis, they stole fighter planes from the French. I don't know why.
Why would you have the French? Because they only go backwards. You like that?
For the day, the Mirage fighter jet was actually a revolutionary piece of technology.
Wait, it goes backwards. That's the problem.
It's really hard to make
He has an attached white flag to the end of it.
But yeah, the reason that people know that Israel has nukes, despite the fact they never officially admitted to it, is because of this guy. His name is Mordecai Vanunu. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I
think you're not.
I probably am not. But if he's listening to this, hello, Mr. Mordecai. I hope that I didn't fuck up your name too much. Come on the podcast, except you can't for the reasons I'll get into. In 1986, he had a conversation with the British press, and he leaked the fact that Israel had nukes. He also leaked how they were being made, what kind of nukes they were, and how much stuff they had to make nukes with, like their enriched plutonium stocks and things like that.
Yeah.
all of this was completely illegal. Israel was not supposed to have any of this because it goes against the Nuclear Proliferation Treaty, which was signed like a year before.
And also, didn't they agree after the Cold War that nobody's allowed to make any more nukes?
Oh, this is during the Cold War. This is 1986.
Okay.
But there are a lot of, test banning treaties and non-nuclear proliferation treaties. The idea was that, okay, nukes are bad. So small countries that have, like, something to prove or, like, an agenda against the world, like Israel, for example, probably shouldn't have nukes. That was the idea of the treaty.
But so there's another argument to that side, right? The other argument is you only create nukes as a deterrent. So you show people that don't mess with me because I actually have something to fuck you up with.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I can see the logic, but I could also see your logic there,
Yeah.
If I was a small country, which, might get fucked with by outsiders, I'd want some nukes, man.
I would just have a couple.
Just a few.
Just a couple. A couple.
Just like, hey, Mr. Leader, wherever you are, I can drop a nuke on your house. I only have the one for your house. Specifically your house.
Yeah, it's
just so as you know.
Have you watched Peaky Blinders?
No, I haven't actually. I need to. But...
You need to watch. Why
do they have nukes in that?
No, they don't have nukes, but they have bullets with people's names on them, and it's like, this bullet is saved for you. It's the same thing with the nukes. Just write his name on it.
I'm just imagining like Fidel Castro doing that. He would totally do that. He would like put a shell with like Kennedy's name on it and just
like this is for you. I will express ship it. DPD shipping.
Yeah, just ship it in via UPS and like they wouldn't notice. But yeah, so it was a massive scandal. Israel did not like the fact that the West suddenly knew that they'd been stealing their nuclear secrets for years. Along with Israel stole a whole bunch of military information. They love doing that. Funnily enough, the guy who nicked the design for the French fighter jets, they paid him $200 for that. They paid him $200, and he now runs a kebab shop in Tel Aviv.
And it's called... what's it called?
It's called the Mirage. No, it's not. It's not named after the jet fights. But Mr. Mordecai, he was in England at the time because he was giving this information to the English press. And he didn't return to Israel. So what is the Israeli government going to do? Have a guess. Have a guess what you think they might have done.
The Mossad?
It was Mossad. What are the Mossad going to do to get this guy out of the country? Because they don't want to piss off the British. Remember, Margaret Thatcher is in power at this point, and she's a big fan of Israel. They have a very, very good, close relationship.
You'd start a second Nazi revolution so you can expose all the Jews, and like this, they're going to expose him out of the country.
So they're going to start Britain going down the fascist route just to get rid of the Jews so that he would be forced out of the country.
Yeah.
That is something that Israel would probably do. But
did they actually do?
Well, to be fair, it would be harder to tank Britain to the right faster than Thatcher. I mean, who else could do it, really? It was already doing that, so there's not really much they could do. What they did was a classic move of the Mossad, honey trap.
Oh, yeah, classic honey traps.
So they wrote, they got some Freudian psychoanalysts, right? And I saw a couple of quotes from this, and they said, while he is socially awkward and has a small and limited social circle, this provides ample opportunity for sexual enticement. It's like a subject is observed to be lonely and desiring of female companionship.
See, it's funny you say that. You see, Donald Trump. I know I'm bringing it up. But there's a conspiracy theory out there
that Melania is a honey trap.
She is, yeah.
Well, a lot of people have been accused of being honey traps from Israel.
So there might be the case. I'm just saying.
You know the guy in charge of the FBI, Kash Patel?
That's not that one as well.
Because he's going out with this really shitty country singer who somehow has a successful career despite the fact that she's shit at singing. And it's and he's just oh my god, she's so great. Have you seen heard her do the national anthem? And it's
that was a really good American accent, by the way.
Kash Patel does not have a good American accent. I don't know where his accent's from. He sounds very, very strange. But he's got a really strained, whiny sort of
But you sounded
Jersey
American
thing.
there for a second.
Yeah, I did, thank you. My accents are perfect and nothing about them is ever wrong.
Do a Romanian accent, Billy?
No.
See?
Dude.
Okay. Let's move past.
Move on.
They
Moving
did
on.
honey
Honeypot.
trap.
They did the honeypot,
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
So they sent this attractive woman over to meet with him. They went out for about a week or so, and then she persuaded him to go on a holiday with her to Italy.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yes, they went to Rome, and it was a very nice romantic weekend. Just a little weekend away, a bit of white wine in the sun, you know.
A little bit of a slap and tickle.
Yeah, and the slap and tickle in this case being 3 Mossad agents with drugs. They injected him with drugs to put him into a coma. They put him into a fake ambulance, rushed him to a medical boat, which was actually an Israeli Navy vessel, and smuggled him out of the country and took him straight back to Israel.
Isn't that so many levels of illegal?
Yes, it's like violating a whole bunch of international laws, but it's Israel, they don't care. So the Prime Minister of Italy was, a bit annoyed about this, but they didn't do anything.
No, I'm so cold. Oh, can I have some pizza?
Yes. I don't actually know who was in charge of it at the time.
I don't know either.
It might have been it wasn't Berlusconi, but it's probably someone very much like him. He's a fun character. We should do a podcast about him one day. Like, how many scandals can you get in and still be elected? It's like him and Trump. They're two very, very close, like tied for that world record.
I'm starting to see a sort of pattern of psychopaths being in power.
Yeah, it's almost like power itself should not exist. Anyway, so poor Mordecai, instead of getting the good push, he ended up getting pushed back to Israel, where he spent 18 years in prison. 18 years in prison, 11 of those were in solitary confinement.
Well, here's my question.
Yes.
Did anything happen after he snitched? As in, anything good came out of all this bullshit?
Well, everyone knows that Israel has nukes. That's it. Like, they're not having the nukes taken away.
I mean,
they still got them. So yeah, this guy was kept in prison until about 2004. 11 of those years were in solitary, which I should remind you is a war crime under the Geneva Convention, I think. I can't remember what exactly it is. But
it's fine if you're actual...
No, it's been described as torture in various, human rights watches and things. Like it is torture. It is solitary. It does drive you completely mental. That's the thing. It's like a mental anguish thing. Eventually you get so lonely, you just sort of start tunneling inside your own head and start like hallucinating and shit. It gets really, really bad in there. But this guy, Mordecai, was eventually allowed out of prison under very strict house arrest. His internet is monitored. His phone communication is monitored. He will go back to prison if he ever talks to a foreign person, like any foreigner at all. If he comes within 50 meters of an embassy or within 200 meters of an airport, he goes back to prison.
Oh wow,
yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, that's the state that he's living in right now. He's been living in that sort of limbo ever since 2004.
At least he's out.
Well, about that, he kept getting sent back to prison for occasionally talking with foreigners and things like that. And some of the stuff.
He asked me for the time, my friend. He asked me what time it is. I tell him what time it is. What you doing?
And that guy was probably also working for Mossad. He was just like some tourist-looking bloke. He's like, "Excuse me, can you tell me the way to the beach?" And like, he's just like, "Oh yeah, it's over there." It's like, "Aha, arresting you for talking to a foreigner. Thank you. Come on in." It's Mossad, man. They're fucking evil. They love doing that shit. So the thing is, like, no one actually knows what his conviction is because the trial was kind of closed. It was held behind closed doors. It was not public. No one has any idea what was discussed in there. Basically, he's been sort of stuck and being rearrested in this horrible fucking cycle for years and years at this point, and he can't even sort of speak out about it because he'll get thrown back in prison again. So
he needs to start training pigeons. I don't think pigeons are monitored anymore.
That is true. Dude, I think you might have just solved this guy's problem. You know? Like
pigeons. It's pigeons, because they can't talk to me or you.
Yeah. So technically he's, unless it's a foreign pigeon. If it's a foreign pigeon,
no, we need
count?
to train pigeons.
To go into these...
But we need to make an Israeli friend. So here's the plan, Billy.
Okay.
Can we start training pigeons so they always return to my flat?
Yes.
Right? And we have to fly to Israel, I know. It's fine. I'll pretend I want to pray or whatever bullshit, Orthodox stuff, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Just wear a hat.
Yeah, wear a hat. Anyway.
Just wear a lot of woolen
That's fine,
fabrics.
that's details. And after I train my pigeons to always return to me, we go to Israel, and you need to sleep with some bloke there, because you're going to be the honeypot.
I'm the honeypot for this.
And convince him this pigeon needs to be delivered to this man. Make sure he's Israeli, because we don't want this guy to get arrested again.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
cool.
We don't want a guy to get arrested. So I have to find an Israeli boyfriend,
Yeah.
get him to deliver the pigeon to the man
Yeah.
in his under house arrest, being
Yeah.
monitored.
Yeah.
Then he can tie the evidence of all the crimes that he's
Yeah.
known about round the pigeon's leg, and then
You'll have to
England.
probably sleep with multiple men because it's gonna be multiple pigeons. But you're a whore. It's okay. It's fine. I'm sorry. That was
Earlier, you were like, genuine love for you, dude. And I'm like, really? You're saying you're selling my ass out here. You're pimping me. What the fuck?
No, I'm not pimping you. You will enjoy it. I'm sorry.
No pimp has ever said that before. You get paid. You know what's going to happen.
So yeah, problem solved.
But yeah, I don't think it would even help this guy. That's the thing. Because great plan with the pigeons and everything. Because pigeons are untrackable unless the pigeons are run by the government, which is a different thing.
But the pigeons in the UK are run by the government.
Yeah,
man.
so it have to be.
We have to import pigeon from Italy.
I see. Has to be an Italian pigeon specifically.
They're quicker, and they're like, "Oh, I'm fine. I'm just a pigeon. No, it's fine. It's okay."
It's like, yeah, I'm losing to a bird. Anyway. But even if we got this guy like a pigeon, he was able to get his story out there. It wouldn't help.
Yeah, no, it didn't help anybody.
People have pointed out, like, people who criticize this guy's treatment have said he's already spilt all the secrets he can. He doesn't have any new secrets. He
hasn't worked for the government for the last 20 years.
No,
he's been in prison.
He's been in prison. Like, he can't spill any secrets. They're already out. Everything that he knows is already public knowledge. So there's no reason to keep him under, lock and key as a security threat. It's just a punishment. That's all it is. It's torture in the name of, national security reasons.
Yeah, bullshit.
Yeah, which means they don't want to admit that they have nukes. Even though everyone knows it.
We all know you have nukes, Israel.
Yeah, it's like you come home, you find your house smashed up. There's your small child, your 3-year-old, has got like a bunch of broken glass and like cookie stains all around their face, and they're like, "It was the dog, it was the cat, it was the bird." It was like, dude.
First of all, why would you leave your 3-year-old by itself in the house?
Okay, I am a bad parent.
That was Billy. As soon as this is over, we're gonna have a conversation.
I'm a bad parent in waiting, apparently.
Yeah, we're gonna have a serious
conversation about my parenting skills about this hypothetical child that doesn't exist.
Listen, children, hypothetical or not, you can't do that.
You can't leave them in the house.
If they're hypothetical children, you can't do that to them.
Oh god. Do we have a positive thing to sort of end this episode on? I'd like to wrap up on something positive. There isn't much positive to say about this guy, Mordecai, to be honest, because he's just in a really, really shit situation. But I actually
have nothing positive to say.
No?
No.
Nothing positive about dead whistleblowers or things like that?
No. Well, on the positive side...
Actually, I will end on a positive
Okay, go.
I have got a positive thing.
Okay, cool.
Because I was looking down like the long lists of whistleblowers to try to find the right guys to talk about for this episode, and I came across a guy, I can't remember his name, but he's got a very, very American name, and he was actually a general during the 30s. He was like a major general, seriously important guy. He got approached by members representing the financial community, big banks, JP Morgan and things like that, to try and do a coup on the United States when FDR was president, basically.
I assume he refused.
Yes, he did. He refused and blew the whole conspiracy wide open, and a couple of bankers got arrested.
Oh, that's nice. I always enjoy when I hear bankers got arrested.
I do as well. And this was but bear in mind, this was the 30s. This is when FDR was in charge. He was saying, hey, the rich people hate me because I'm going to tax them, so I also hate them. And
so it's fine. So everybody's it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, subscribe,
and sometimes whistleblowing has an effect.
Not a good one.
Not always a good one, but it can have an effect. Like and subscribe for more of this stupid bullshit.